So, I took my 2001 S2000 to my first ever track day at the Portland International Raceway on a Porsche driver's track day. Even though by this time there had been 5,000 S2000s in the USA, mine was the first most people at these events had ever seen. I was allowed to go into the intermediate category, however, since it was my first time, I was required to have a drive instructor with me. My instructor was an old grizzled racer, probably 70 years old. He literally raced a kart on the track during the race category time slots. He told me that he had trained Porsche drivers at these events for 40 years, and this was the first S2000 that he'd ever heard of and knew nothing about it. So we were off, and oh man, the S2000 on the track is absolutely graceful, and I even hit 135 miles an hour on the straight with the top off. I took the instructor's advice, but felt like the S2000 allowed me to just drive like it should naturally on a track. The instructor's main criticism that he kept yelling at me, over the air noise of the S2000 on the track with its top down doing over 80 in a corner, was that I was shifting too late and keeping my RPMs too high. So in between runs we had a broader discussion. I explained to him that the S2000 had no power under 6,000 RPMs when VTEC kicked in. On corners, I would shift to a gear that kept me above 6,000 RPMs so I could power through it. He wouldn't listen to me, so I agreed to let him drive it in the next 15-minute session. In the first couple straights, the guy, maybe thinking it was a Porsche with torque and low-end grunt, was shifting the thing at like 4,000 RPMs. I could literally hear the engine just bogging out as he tried to accelerate at 3,000 RPMs. So I yelled at him and reminded him about keeping the RPMs up, and the dude switched on a dime. He jumped the RPMs into VTEC and then just started carving up the corners. I kid you not, when we finished, he got out of the S2000 and absolutely slobbered on it, saying, and I quote exactly, "I've been racing Porsche cars here for 50 years, and I have never felt a car like this on the track. It feels like a motorcycle." The guy just kept gushing out with enthusiasm like he was a teenager again. That is what it was like owning an S2000 in the year 2000. And by the way, I got 8 miles per gallon and burned 3/4 a tank of gas, as well as burning half the rubber off the new tires that day.